My name is Zach Bagans. I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one. Raw. Extreme. These are our ghost adventures.
Welcome back, Shadow People. I'm Charlie.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Laura.
And this is Paranormal Playback. If you're new here, we are a podcast that recaps the spooky and entertaining world of paranormal reality TV, with our main event typically being Ghost Adventures. We've been recapping season 1, and we did season 29 when it was airing. But this is our last episode of season 1.
Woohoo!
We did
What
it, guys.
a weird episode for them to go out on. Like, it really should have been the Edinburgh one.
It was yeah, I agree. I think the Scotland one would have been a great finale.
Yeah.
But it did not feel like they filmed all of these in the order that they aired them. You okay,
Laura?
Yeah.
You looked so scared in that moment.
Because I tossed my phone at myself and I was like trying to catch it. I don't know why.
But yeah, they did not air them in the order that they filmed them, it feels like. And then it feels like they kind of didn't really end this with a bang. But, this is where it all began. This is part 2 of Ghost Adventures, season 1, episode 8, the Old Idaho Penitentiary in Boise, Idaho, which aired on December 5th, 2008. If you missed part 1, go give it a listen to learn more about the history of this location and how tough both the prisoners and the prison itself were, as well as you're going to want to hear Mel's rundown on Raymond Snowden and also Zach's version of the truth. And if you don't listen to part 1, then you're going to miss all of the fun with snakes.
Oh my gosh, so
would
many
wanna miss
snakes.
that?
That's an oxymoron for me. There is no fun with snakes.
Is old actually a part of the name?
Yeah.
Old Idaho Penitentiary. Let me
That's
look
what
back
it
at my...
says on here.
I think so.
I didn't make that up, did I? No, it says it in the that's what they named it.
Yeah.
The Old Idaho
I
Penitentiary.
mean, it started as a single cell house territorial prison before Idaho was a state. It was known as the territorial prison.
During frontier times.
Yes. Oregon Trail times.
Okay, so don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to our show and or share it with your friends. It helps other haunting adjacent humans like yourself find the show.
And leave us a comment. Let us know you're out there.
Tell us what you're thinking.
Let us know you're real,
Yeah. We're not hallucinating.
alive,
Yeah.
not just a ghost.
Proof of life.
We would
proof of afterlife.
absolutely-
Whatever. We accept them all.
Yes, proof of life, proof of afterlife, proof of alien life. If you're not from this world, let us know. Okay, so we last left Zach, Nick, and Aaron at the Idaho State Penitentiary, where we learned that 10 men had been executed by hanging. A man was murdered by, trigger warning, gang rape.
Mhm.
Multiple men had been placed in solitary and the hole. And Zach, the hole.
The hole.
And Zach lived out his Indiana Jones dreams by dodging snakes in the foothills of Idaho. We are now rejoining the crew with their tour guide, Ellen Hafner, who is going to lock them down for their investigation.
During this, I noticed how dark Aaron's beard is. Like, his beard is black.
Do you think he had started dyeing it?
I don't know.
Not-
I
Not
mean,
yet.
was he still bald? Or shaves his head?
He might have a little bit of hair on that head right now.
Yeah. It's just so funny to see them so young. And
Jovial.
yeah. Because he's definitely great. His beard has gone salt and pepper. It looks good on him.
But I like Aaron now with his salt and pepper beard.
Mhm.
I feel like out of all of them, he's aging. I hate the term aging gracefully. It's such bullshit. But
He looks good.
Yeah, I feel like he's aging well. He
Yeah.
looks good older. Okay. Zach tells us that dusk has arrived, and this is their cue to get locked down inside the Idaho State Penitentiary. Ellen, their tour guide from part 1, does the honors of locking them behind the large steel barred gates. And I clarify it as saying that they are barred gates because there's actually 2 different gates that get locked. So this is a legit lockdown. They go through this one large lift gate that has steel bars that Ellen has to control from a button so that it lifts, and then they walk to the other large lift gate that has solid steel plates that are bolted to each other. Once on the other side, she closes that solid gate, and then there is no escaping. How are they going to get out?
Dun, dun, dun.
As soon as the gate closes, Zach says, "We've only been in here 5 seconds so far, but I can tell you the feelings right now are confined and isolated." And Aaron finishes his sentence by saying, "Trapped." No shit, guys. You were just locked into a prison. What the fuck did you think this was going to feel like?
Free as a bird.
I was like, are we supposed to be like shocked by these feelings? I would also feel confined, isolated, and trapped once I saw this big steel gate close. They decide that the first thing they will do is check on their exes. Again, this is not their romantic former partners.
I was about to make the same joke.
I'm so glad that you have the same train of thinking. Because I realized as I said it, I was like, I feel like it sounds so confusing when we say exes. These are like X marks the spots.
Literally,
places.
like they're making a literal treasure map.
Yes, and they're putting black gaffer's tape down in the shape of an X so that they know where to put their static night vision cameras.
And for those who don't know what gaffer's tape is, it's like painter's tape, but black. There's a crew role on set called a gaffer, and they rig up lights, and
they usually have a roll of gaffer's tape somehow attached to their body at all times.
Yeah, they always have like the black tape.
It's a staple. So as they're putting down the X's, they're marking them on a map. Zach notices 2 openings in the clouds and points them out, saying, "There, right there. Doesn't those just kind of look like 2 evil eyes looking at you?"
Oh, the cloud. I just immediately thought about how my toddler looks at the clouds and sees shapes in the clouds, and we're like,
Mommy, look, it's 2 evil eyes just looking at us.
Yeah, but it did. Like after he said it, I was like, it does.
It does. It's
what I love. There's a part of me that really likes that Zach is in touch with his inner child.
Yes,
he's been doing his inner child work.
He's very imaginative. He says, "It does definitely feel like they are watching us right now, doesn't it?" I said, "Man, he'll find meaning in anything."
Sure will.
As they continue walking around, Zach says to Aaron, "I know this is a bad thing to say, but actually, I kind of like it here." Aaron starts laughing and says, "You like being in this?" Zach says, "Yeah, I like being here. It's just so dark and medieval."
It is like a cool prison, though. For those who, just to paint a picture again, if you're just joining us, this penitentiary it's very like Santa Fe, Wild West kind of sandstone structure. So it's literally like this tan color on the outside, and the shapes are, they're like a little Mexican theme, like style of architecture, but
yeah,
like that deserty,
like it has some like Mexican influence on it.
Like Gothic Mexican architecture.
I kind of got what he meant by medieval, even though I was like, this was not during the medieval times. It was a cool building. And also, I think we said this in the first episode, but the grounds were very well taken care of. So I feel like it was that, to me, that would make it a little less spooky because it's creepier when everything is like in shambles. So I kind of understand how he's like, this isn't so bad.
Was he talking about like the medieval?
This is like when he was saying that he liked it there. He was like, I like it here. And he was like, it kind of feels like dark and medieval.
Oh, but like the dinner medieval
times.
Medieval times. Is he like referring to like
dinner
the
and tournament?
Yeah.
Do they even have that like nationwide? No, they have it here. I've been, not recently, but
we should all go.
Mel regularly goes.
I have a membership.
The winch.
They call me Medieval Mel.
You have a lot of names.
I do.
It's so funny because I could actually picture you being like,
like a secret.
Come on, right? We're going to our medieval times date. our monthly visit.
That would be fun. I would love to do that.
It would be fun. It's very far away.
They
it's like
let
on
me
the way
be
to Athens, Georgia. Discover Mills is what I remember.
We pay extra so that they let me be a jouster.
I'll be the wench.
I would be happy to go. I remember going as a kid and really liking the food.
We're definitely going to go to the Renaissance Fair together this year, though.
Yes, we have to.
That sounds fun.
And we all need to wear capes.
Capes.
Also, I really want to buy those like snuggy cape things.
I know.
Winter time.
They do look cool.
They look like we're part of a cult. I was like, this is so culty. And
which, you know, Lauren is always like, I get it.
Totally. Take me.
Okay, so Aaron turns to the camera and says, yeah, he's crazy, which we agree with. They finish mapping out the X's and darkness falls over the penitentiary. We see the illuminated cross that stands on the foothills behind the penitentiary shining down on the former prison. Feels very poetic. I don't know. Did you guys capture that? They have this like electronic, like
that's
LED
like
cross.
Yeah.
They have that in
Is it
Sao Paulo?
Yeah, Sao Paulo.
Or Rio. Is it in Rio? By the whatever they call the giant Jesus Christ statue.
Yeah. Giant Jesus.
One of those places.
Anyway, Zach says, we just started our lockdown and I thought I heard a noise. I thought I heard a noise emanating from the rose garden. So of course, he immediately starts sprinting towards it with his flashlight out as Nick and Aaron trail behind him.
But you got your flashlight.
I know, finally. But he's like bouncing around like a little squirrel scurrying around the yard.
And it was the same thing that they did in Sloss, where he was like, I just heard something. And then he just starts running.
Yeah.
As they were following him, we hear Zach fall onto the ground. He says, whoa, what was that? What did I just run into? We see on the night vision camera that Zach has tripped over some rope fencing with stakes that were in the ground. Aaron says, whoa, dude, you just ran full throttle into that. He's hysterical laughing, as only Aaron does. Nick says,
Aaron gives like the most obvious narrations.
Yeah.
After something happens, he just,
whoa, dude.
Whoa, dude, that was like an explosion.
Nick says, you ripped it right out of the ground. Zach puts the stakes back into the ground, and without skipping a beat, he immediately turns towards the camera, out of breath, and just continues narrating, like as if nothing happened.
Yep.
He says, so we're just walking around out here in the exterior, and now it's all gone. We were hearing these noises. It sounded like screams and like laughter, and it was very, very loud, which is interesting because they were filming and we did not hear anything on their audio before they started running. So if it was very, very loud, I don't understand why we didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have any reports of like skinwalkers out there, since it's like in the desert.
You know, you're not supposed to say the word. Now you're going to get haunted.
What?
Now I'm going to get haunted because you told me I'm going to get haunted.
You're not supposed to say the word if they don't hear
it. Rhymes with Finn Talker.
Thin talkers. Yeah.
The intention's the same.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know why you're not supposed to say it, but I believe that's part of the that's another
become one.
That's another cryptid for you to Google.
Is this one of those things that like people think Justin Bieber is one? Or is that
no? That's like a lizard
person.
That's like a lizard person. No, a skinwalker is I think we've talked about them before, but it's a Native American. It's part of a Native American paranormal lore, but they're supposed to be pretty bad folks. So Zach goes on to explain that they couldn't find the source of what they heard, but the spirits made themselves clear. He says, when darkness arrives, it seems like they're coming out of their cells to play with us, and I'm ready to play. Okay. So it appears that they are now in Five House, and as a reminder, they said that Five House was the last place folks on death row were housed before they were executed. So they had cells there. So if you were on death row, like that was the last cell that you went into, and then I believe that they could actually like see the gallows from their cells, which is super creepy.
That was death row.
Literally death row. There's a reason for the name. So Zach asks Aaron where they were putting the static cameras, and Aaron tells him that they put them on the doors So the front doors to Five House, the door locks, and then on the circuit breaker, which in part 1, we talked about how some of the activity was like the circuit breaker toggling on and off by itself. Zach explains that they have 7 more cameras to set up and suddenly comes up with a brilliant plan. He reminds us that there was an inmate who, trigger warning, was gang raped to death in the shower. Zach turns and gives Aaron an evil smile. He says, "You know where I'm going with this?" Aaron sighs, says, "Yeah." Zach says, "Where?" Aaron says, "I'm going in there." And he shakes his head. Zach says, "You know it." Aaron says, "Fuck."
Zach just like can't wait to put sweet Aaron in the shower room. Also, you know what this made me think of? How crazy is it that Aaron has investigated so many prisons and now his wife is sitting in one?
Oh, the irony. Is that ironic?
Yeah. I mean, like seeing him like in that room, I was just like, this is so odd.
Yeah.
Because
it's like art imitating life.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Wild. Do we know how many years she got?
Not long.
7.5.
Man, she could have gotten
5 to 7.5.
She deserves longer than because like had the guy not gone through with it, she would have. I
want to
had,
know what happened. Like, why didn't the guy go through with it? Was it always a scam?
I think it was a scam the whole time. He was like, "I'm just going to take the money. What is she going to do?" She
But
can't.
They were like
she can't
spiritually
say.
married. Like, did he just ghost her? I just want to know more about that because he was tried separately, right?
No, they were never charged.
Yeah, I don't think he was charged. I think because I think it was clearly a scam on his end, and they were like, "Well, you really didn't do anything." Like, because I mean, think about it.
There was
like,
never proof for intention on his side.
Right. If anything, it was just to get the money. And
they were saying that he was blackmailing her. So I don't think they can have like the cake and eat it too. I don't think prosecution can say he was blackmailing her and then also.
Well, and if anything, they might have just
also
given
charge
him. Yeah, they might have given him a plea deal type of thing and said like, or gave him a not immunity. Yeah, like immunity. Like, look, we're not really interested in charging you for taking the money. We're really interested in getting her because she's the one who wanted to do this. Tell us what happened, like that kind of thing. Especially because he was already in jail. I also want to know
like why she wanted to kill him. Like, I feel like we didn't get a lot of.
Yeah, she just seems crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so they literally put Aaron in there with his little handheld camcorder and shut the door. Aaron looks at them through the little metal fenced window and asks, "You're coming back in 20 minutes, right? You swear, right?" Before Zach answers, he starts shushing and says, "Do you hear that too?" Nick agrees, and then Zach starts shouting, "We hear you making noises, and I'll tell you what, because you've been making noises for us, I told you I'd give you a gift." He continues, "Our gift to you is Aaron." Zach goes on, "And we just locked him inside the shower room." Zach is continuing his little monologue when Aaron yells, "Whoa, dude!" Zach asks him what happened. Aaron explains that his back pocket had a water bottle in it, and he felt it lift up like someone was pulling on it. He says, "I fucking swear to God, dude." I thought that was interesting.
Oh, I wrote, gotta get that water bottle out of the way there, Aaron. Just so horrible.
Oh my God.
I know. Don't include it. It's so bad.
Oh my God.
No, we're including that.
We
are including that.
Aaron didn't want to think about why they might be trying to get the water bottle out. Zach sees this as a sign of success to his taunting the spirits and offering Aaron as a sacrifice. We are now...
sorry, before you start the next section.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk to people that went to high school with Zach to see if he was a bully.
No, I think he was a nerd.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he was
you think he was bullied? Probably.
Yes.
And now he's like turning the table.
I bet Nick was a bully.
I could see Nick being a bully, and I could see Zach not even being bullied, just being annoying. Like being the kid who's always like trying to get attention. Like being like, "Hey guys, look at me, look
with that like nasally voice and like bony,
and was always bullied, and now he's like, "Oh yeah, now I can bully, but
now I'm the bully."
I'm just gonna bully ghosts. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I wonder if you went to high school with Zach and or Nick and or Aaron. Let us know. So we are now shown another angle of the same moment where the static night vision camera that was in the shower room with Aaron captured an unexplained shadow behind him at the same time that he felt the bottle being pulled. While it is very faint, I do see something moving behind him. They like increased the contrast, but it was hard to see. But I did see like movement. It was just very faint. Do you guys remember seeing anything?
No, I didn't see anything.
Oh, when they were at no.
It was like at the same time that he felt the bottle being pulled, and they like upped the. I felt like I saw it better before they upped the contrast.
Yeah.
And then when they upped the contrast, it was like, well, now I don't see anything. Zach and Nick begin leaving the area. Zach tells Aaron to try to capture some of that bad stuff on video. Aaron is now all alone in the shower room. He asks again if the guys are coming back in 20 minutes, but they don't respond as they shut the door. He turns to look at his handheld camera and laughs. Wow, did you hear that door shut? That was creepy. So Aaron now gets right to it. He holds up the digital recorder and starts speaking to the room.
God, this made me cackle. What he says.
This right here in my hand is something that will allow you to talk to me. You see the little red light? I heard that someone in here was violently killed in a bad, bad, bad way. As he finishes this last sentence, he mumbles to himself, oh, I don't feel too good. Aaron now looks into the room and says, please don't hurt me. I'm not here to be hurt. Wait, Lauren, was
what
that
they
the
did to
thing?
you was
No,
real bad.
wow.
He's like,
No, where's the one where he said about being naked and in the shower?
no, he says something like, I think what they did with you to you was real bad.
That, yes.
Yeah, shower and not naked.
No one should die.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes
I was
in.
like,
That's
wait.
the part. I'm like, oh, not the gang rape part, but the naked in the shower part is the bad part.
Yes. Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
still, it made me laugh when Aaron was like pleading, like, please don't hurt me. I'm not here to be hurt. And I was like, oh, he thinks he can reason with whatever this is, which is like, oh, it probably not. We see a timestamp that tells us that it's 12:04 a.m. We are now rejoining Nick and Zach as they start to investigate the high security cell blocks in Five House, while Aaron is investigating the shower room. Zach asks, is there anybody in here? If there is, it's time for you to come out of your cells and come and play with us. If you can hear my voice, I want you to make a noise right now. Nothing happened.
surprise.
Supplies.
We cut back over to Aaron, who tells us that he's standing inside the shower room. He continues, where a man was violently murdered by a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of inmates. He turns to the camera and says, and honestly, it is creepy because all the walls are around you and it feels like there's people in here with you. He turns back to the room and says, I'm sorry that you died in here. I think that was a wrong thing for them to have done. I really think when you go out, you need to go out not in a shower and not naked.
Maybe not gang raped.
Yeah, I don't think his biggest concern in that moment was the fact that he was naked in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I don't. He probably was like, I don't know if I can say gang raped. You know,
he probably, yeah. Knowing Aaron, that was probably too much for him to try to envision was the gang rape.
Yeah.
When he said, you don't need to go out naked in the shower, I'm like, oh, we're forgetting the small detail of being gang raped.
Yes. Also,
Or
when are you not naked in a shower?
Exactly. That's what I was. That's what me and my mom both said. We're like, when are you not naked in the shower?
Oh my God. Yeah. I think out of, the two options, gang rape or naked in the shower, I wouldn't mind so much the naked in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a great way to go.
No. So Zach tells us that even though the spirits didn't respond to Aaron in here, he still felt their presence. I think it was just because Aaron was freaked out. Okay. And so I thought it was interesting because I noticed that in this episode, each one of them had their own like silo moment where they get to like
that too.
investigate by themselves. So Nick and Zach retrieve Aaron and decide to head over to solitary confinement, aka Siberia.
And this is the hole in the wall, not the hole.
The
right?
hole, the hole in
Sorry.
the wall.
They called one of them like the hole, right?
Yeah, so one of them is called the hole.
In solitary it's like the metal door just like up against a stone, like
yes, solitary
room.
Was the hole was the cell where there was like 6 to 8 people in one room together, in one small room
it's
together.
more of a short-term thing, right? Like a hole is where like it's like you're being punished. Solitary confinement is where it's like an actual term.
Yes. They were there for like a year.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes.
they weren't supposed to be, though. They said that it was only supposed to be 30 days and that some people were held in there up to a year. But in solitary, you were not given any time outside of your cell and you were in there by yourself. So 30 days to a year completely alone. With.
Do you think they had like books?
No, I don't even think they have beds in there. That's why people go insane in solitary confinement.
I mean, and don't they can consider that cruel and unusual now, don't they?
Yeah, that would be cruel and unusual for sure.
Yeah, that's insane. As they go to set up static night vision cameras, they find a bat on the wall, which of course, Zach and the wildlife have to
Zach
become one.
is all about, and he like makes another vampire joke, doesn't he? Or no? That was just earlier with the fangs.
Oh, the fangs. Yeah. No, but of course he has to point out the bat on the wall. After setting up the camera, they leave Nick in Siberia to see what he can find. Zach reminds us that this is where there was a lady who was touring the prison and she had seen a shadow person stand up from the ground in one of the cells. Which, apparently she like went running out of the place when she saw it. So Nick starts an EVP session. He begins asking questions. Is there anyone here that wants me out of here and doesn't like me in their space? Okay, I don't know about you guys, but at this point, I felt like Nick was trying to pull a Zach.
Oh, yeah.
Nick has been annoying me. Like, I do not like Nick at all. He seems like so full of himself.
Also, I just forgot that we're talking about Nick right now.
Yes, because he all of a sudden he starts trying to do like the Zach role playing thing, and I was like, "What are you trying to do?" I'm like, "This is not your thing."
That at this time there must have been like some sort of tension happening between the two.
Yes, and I think that's also
power.
Why they each got their own separate like silo moment, where they got to investigate by themselves.
I kind of want to look ahead to see
when he like leaves the show.
Instead of it being an actual surprise. Like I do want to see how many more episodes he's in.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I would like to know like when we're getting close to the end to see what we sense.
Yes, but I mean this is season 1 and you're already getting the tension. So.
Yeah. And I just said like he does not give the same oomph as Zach when it comes to like he doesn't have as much confidence. Like Zach goes in there and he, even though it's annoying as hell, his role playing is a very confident like, hey, listen to me, you inmates.
Yeah.
Like
it feels, and this is weird to say, it feels more authentic when Zach does it, whereas Nick feels like he's putting on a role or
it's because Zach is just this is who Zach is. Like I said, I think he was the annoying kid in school who always sought attention. So he's annoying, seeking attention on the show, but it is authentic. Whereas I feel like Nick was trying to put on Zach's character.
Yeah.
So he was on for 10 seasons.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, how much of this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're seeing it
2014, so 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so in his best Zach voice, Nick says, all right, inmates, you're all staying in here for 24 hours, and I'm not letting you out until you do something. I literally, if I was one of these inmates, I couldn't have taken him seriously. I was like, not that I would take Zach seriously, but
like what Nick did before. I mean, do you think he like studied what Zach did before?
I'm sure he's known him long enough that
he knows like what to do. But one of the things I do find interesting, and I don't know if he leans into this in later seasons, I'm really curious to see if he does, but I've started to put together that Nick does seem more interested in the actual history. Like he'll come up with facts that like Zach never talks about. I'm like, man, I wish that Nick just had leaned more into like his interest,
like actually position himself in the
like
in the show and kind of make it ownable.
Carved out his own lane. Like I don't know if he does do that eventually. I don't remember, but like. Because I don't think I was looking for this back when I used to watch it. Okay, so back to Nick's bad role playing. He says, if you want to get out of here, then hit a door. Very, very, very impactful. I think in that moment, because I wrote like a bunch of like dots, like periods, I think it was like he couldn't figure out what he was going to say next.
Yeah,
which
like,
again,
what do I want you to do? There's not a whole lot in here.
He was like, if you want to get out of here, then hit a door. It took him a while.
Yeah.
After he says this, Zach tells us that Nick caught an EVP that they believe is saying, hey, say what?
I actually heard an EVP where they're going, what's that?
Oh my God.
Like, I really don't think that's what it was saying.
Like, what?
I know. I didn't hear it either.
I replayed it a few times to see what I thought. To me, I thought it said something like "stay right there." I thought I heard like the word "there" towards the end.
I'm not gonna lie, I stopped taking notes at this point, so I have no idea.
That's totally fine. You're totally welcome to leave it up to interpretation.
Okay, so Nick joined forces with Zach. So I'm just going to interject just for a second.
Yeah.
In
Go for it.
2004 to create the documentary. They actually met previously in 2000. So they'd known each other for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is this whole idea was Zach's idea.
The show was Zach's idea.
The show, the documentary was Zach's idea. So he just brought Nick on for video production, like film and video production.
But
and
Nick was craving the spotlight.
Yeah. And then Zach is the one who had this idea for ghost hunting. But also Zach had a background in film as well. So it's not like, you know. So I feel like Zach is the brainchild of this whole thing. And then Nick is like, I want to be just as important.
Yeah. I think it comes down to, as much as I hate to give Zach this credit, I do think it comes down to Zach being I think he's a little bit of a more confident person just in general. And I think Nick is more
He's more
insecure.
likable too, in like an unlikable way. I don't know. Zach
it's the authenticity. Like he's just confident in himself and he's just who he is. Whereas I think Nick is more insecure and like doesn't really
he's
know
like a
who he
tryhard.
is. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Nick is more about like looking cool, and Zach is not. Concerned at all with that.
Zach's like, oh, whatever, this is who I am. Take me or leave me.
Yeah.
Which I can, as much as like Zach gets on my nerves, I respect that and I appreciate that. So Nick leaves the static camera running and leaves the area, but they caught 3 noises that sounded like cell doors slamming. One at 1:10 a.m., 1:12 a.m., and then another at 1:16 a.m. So Zach and Aaron continue following the map to place more static cameras around. They say, which it just occurred to me, they placed all these static cameras around. They didn't catch anything.
No.
When they do the evidence,
episode, like nothing really happens. This whole episode, nothing really happens.
Literally just hit me. I was like, wait a minute. When they do the evidence, they don't go over nothing and capture anything on all these static cameras.
I was just thinking, like, I haven't had like a theory in a while, and I was like, oh no, am I like buying into this? And then I was like, oh, wait, nothing's really happened.
No, I think the last few episodes it's been like,
it's been like a shadow.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I'm trying to think back. I don't even remember anything about this episode of things that they've captured.
No.
Even when they go back at the end, nothing was significant enough to even remember, you know.
Except, and we will get to it, there is one thing that is memorable.
Yes.
Which is my disdain.
Connection.
My disdained infinity loop did capture something.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I like how wait, have we gotten to that part yet?
No, we will get to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's.
So Zach and Aaron continue to set up the static cameras that capture nothing.
I'm like, how are you still setting up cameras? It's like 2 a.m.
Well, and I realized that too. I was like, they spent the whole night setting up the cameras. They like literally investigated as they wandered around.
That would totally, I feel like, be us though.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would be like, let's
taking-
shoot everything.
Yeah.
All right. They say that they're going to put one in 2 house, which I don't even remember them talking about 2 house. Did you bring up 2 house? I don't think you did.
I think I brought up 3 house.
Yeah. I think you did too.
And 4. I definitely brought up 4.
I know 4. Yeah. So I'm not sure what 2 house was, but and then they put one in the walkway where a guy had gotten shanked. Nick heads over to the hole, which, if you remember, is a confined cell that would hold 6 to 8 people at one time. Looked super cramped and uncomfortable.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the difference between a shank and a shiv?
I think they're the same.
Oh yeah, I think you get shanked with a shiv.
Gotcha.
Yes.
The shanking is the action.
The shiv is the something. It's a knife made out of anything.
Object. Gotcha.
Nick tells us that one of the doors had been shut when they were setting up cameras, but now it's open, and that freaks him out a bit. But he pulls his tough guy act out and shouts into the void, "But I'm not going anywhere." Nick finally gives some sort of answer to Mel's question about intelligent spirits. So for our new listeners, Mel has had some qualms with the term intelligent spirit because she doesn't understand what a dumb spirit is and why. So I appreciated that Nick actually gives this explanation. And it was a pretty good explanation, I feel like. He explains that there are two types of, and this is the stuff that I think Nick should be leaning into. Don't let Zach talk about this stuff. Let Nick handle this stuff. He explains that there are two types of spirits that he's trying to interact with in here. Intelligent spirits, which are spirits that are capable of answering questions or communicating back through signs, like lights flashing, banging when asked. So like if you ask, like, knock on that door 3 times and you hear 3 knocks, that's intelligent. Non-intelligent spirits, Nick refers to them as residual spirits. These are spirits that just kind of go in circles, like a recorded loop. They're unaware of your presence and incapable of communicating back. So the example I thought of this, and I think they give another example later, but like if you're on a battlefield and every night at like 6 p.m. you hear a cannon go off, that would be a residual energy or a residual spirit. Or like seeing a spirit walk through a wall consistently at the same time every day, things like that are residual. Whereas like they're not going to, if you ask them to do something, they don't do anything for you.
So what about a spirit that's intelligent, but like doesn't really care about your bullshit and doesn't want to do anything? Is that like an uncooperative spirit?
Yes. That sounds like a rebel.
Rebellious. They have mischievous ones.
Not mischievous, just like, you're annoying. Bye.
A rebellious spirit. No, I think that also happens. I don't know that they have a name for that. They just wouldn't classify it because they don't know if it's there because it's not responding to them. You know.
Okay.
Well, and I think the non-intelligent could go back to the stone tape theory too.
Yes. Yeah, that is where some stone tape theory comes in. I do hope that there's an episode where they talk about stone tape theory. I think Kindred Spirits talks about it. But so Nick says, "Can you tell me why you're locked up in here?" He says that he keeps hearing a noise from right in front of him where there is a cell door. He turns away from the cell and asks, "Are you trapped down here?" He immediately spins back around and says, "I just heard a noise come from right behind me," which again is near that cell door. I don't know why he turned around. It's like how convenient that you couldn't capture it on camera because you turned in the other direction.
Yep.
He then captures another EVP that he says is an unexplained voice, but I actually listened to it and I thought it was somebody saying "get out." Like I closed my eyes and listened and I was like, I actually hear it words. So I don't know. I didn't think it was like, to me, it wasn't aggressive. It was more of like an apathetic, like get out, like that type of thing. It is now 1:53 a.m. We're about, like halfway through our lockdown at this point. Zach says, with only a few hours remaining, it was time to confront Idaho's Jack the Ripper, Raymond Snowden. They head over to Snowden's cell on death row, which also happens to be right near the gallows where he had been hung. Zach explains that he's going to stay there by himself. They set up a static night vision camera facing towards his cell and then one that's facing the gallows. He explains that he's going to set up an infrared digital still camera and have it set so it takes a picture every 60 seconds. Zach sits crisscross applesauce again in front of Snowden's cell and begins his EVP session. "Raymond Snowden, I've been tracking you down, Raymond. I went to the bar where you murdered that woman with your little pocket knife. Are you the one causing all this torment here in the prison cell? This noose right here, I heard you had a lot of problems with this noose." As a reminder, Snowden's execution did not go as planned and it took him about 15 minutes to die. So that is what Zach is now referencing. Zach says, 15 minutes, 15 long minutes that you were dangling there suffocating. Is that how the woman felt when you stabbed her over 30 times? He continues. Now, Raymond, I came all the way over here and I want you to talk. I understand that they hung you on the gallows right over here and you were unable to say your last words.
I don't remember that being a thing.
How is it possible that you don't have last words? Like you said something at the end, like whatever the last thing you said was your last words. Like, yeah. I guess like he's saying that he didn't have like a profound last statement or something.
I don't remember them saying anything about this dude's last words. Like I was confused by that whole.
They never said it in the interviews. You did not report on it.
I think they give you a chance to say your last words, and I think
so they didn't give him that opportunity possibly.
Or he just didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Zach makes a really big deal about these last words, and I'm like, where did that even come from?
Or maybe it was something they cut out and realized like, oh, oops, we cut that out, and it was context.
Yeah, the context is
Missing.
taken away. Yeah.
So he says, I'm giving you a chance right now, Raymond. Zach starts mumbling under his breath. Oh. I notice at this point that the captions actually say, I don't know if you guys notice this in the captions, it says normal voice when he starts talking again.
What does it say when he's yelling?
I don't think it said anything when he was yelling, unless it said like shouting, but I just kept noticing that when he was talking like himself, they literally would put normal voice in parentheses.
That's so funny.
I was like, that's so funny. So he says, I'm feeling something on my arm right here. It's going up my shoulder. He shouts, are you grabbing me on the arm? He tells us that he has cold chills going throughout his whole body. And if you notice, like he had his camera really close to his face and you could actually see his like chin like going up and down like he was shivering. And I was like, is he putting that on right now or is he really actually cold?
I mean, the desert's like cold at night, right?
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
You're right.
So, and they're in this like stone building.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Zach tells us that at this exact moment, the infrared still camera caught this anomaly hovering behind him and touching his arm. It looks like a shadow, but the shape isn't logically from anything that we can see. He explains that with a single light source in the room, it is impossible to cast a double shadow. And you can actually see where his shadow is and the shadow of the like gate, the cell door. And this thing that's like the shadow that's on top of him is not logically from either of those things or in the same direction. So the anomaly couldn't be Zach's shadow. We cut over to Nick and Aaron, who are in cell house 3. They decide that they will do an EVP session, and Aaron had the idea to set up motion detectors. They set up these motion detectors and nothing happened. We never go back to them.
So many of these things. Like, why the fuck was there a camera on that circuit breaker?
Yeah, nothing happened.
And also, if they have all the lights off, why would the circuit breaker do anything?
Well,
it's a circuit. It's not the switch.
Yeah, but also the circuit breaker, the lore was that supposedly it would turn on by itself. So if all the lights suddenly went on, you'd be like, holy shit, what just happened?
No, that would be the switch, though. The switch would still have to be engaged.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they were filming. They were filming the whole breaker, like all the switches.
They're filming the switchers, the switches, not
the circuits. So when the lights work, regardless of if the lights work, the circuits would be engaged, right?
Yeah.
And then if they turned off, then it would crank out.
Yeah, these aren't like normal lights. Like there isn't a light switch. In order to turn the lights on and off in the entire place,
you actually do
have to toggle the circuit breaker. That's why at night the guy has to toggle them off.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if they were to engage, all the lights would turn on.
Yes, and then they would be like, oh, but guess what? Spoiler alert, it doesn't happen. Nothing happened. So Nick and Aaron's.
I have a like thing to call out because if they set things up and then they never come back to it to say nothing ever happened, why even show us the setup?
Because otherwise the show would be like 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
But come back to it and just say like, this didn't work.
No, I totally agree because I feel like they always leave it open-ended and then you're like, wait a minute.
Always open-ended and then it takes me a second to remember that it even happened.
Yeah.
No,
also on the circuit breaker thing, to me that feels like if it were a spirit, it was like somebody just like fucking with you a little bit, because the only way he would know that it would flip on would be like at the end of the night, right? When he's leaving and flips them off.
Oh, the spirit.
And he's like, okay, time to go home.
No, but he said he would turn them off at night, and when he was the one who shut everything down.
And when he'd come back, they'd be on.
And he's the one who opens everything up. And when he would come back in the morning, they would be turned on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Not a silly ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone's messing with him.
I feel like it's possible. I just think that whenever Zach like tries to provoke people, he doesn't get the results that he wants. Like I do think we'll get to it in Haunted and Hoax, but I do think that like there could be activity going on. I just don't know that they're going to capture it on the show.
Yeah, I just
screaming at them.
Well, just like the vaults,
Mhm.
they didn't get any results until everybody was gone.
Right. Yeah, like the trigger objects were what they actually got some results with, because it It was quiet. So Nick and Aaron say that they're hearing what sounds like footsteps upstairs. Nick says, "Is that you walking around up there, inmate?" They head upstairs towards the sound of the footsteps. Nick says, "Block 3. Are there any inmates in here with us? Are you a murderer?" Random. Like, Nick, you're just not as good at this. Then Aaron says, "Oh, something rattled in here." They start wondering how Zach is doing. And we cut back over to Zach in the gallows.
I have a theory.
What is your theory?
So if Nick is married or has a serious girlfriend at the time, she's probably like, "You need to step it up in the show."
Yeah,
like,
he's turning you into a cameraman.
Yeah.
How long Nick Groff and Tessa been together? Like, this is a great theory. They met in 2020. Okay, but maybe he had a different girlfriend at that time.
Probably.
Like, I bet she was like egging him on, like, you need to step it up in the show. Like, he's the star. You need to be the star. You can be the star.
Don't let Zach
like
take all the spotlight.
Yeah.
Nick's dance mom.
Like, you're the real star of the show. Don't let him overshadow you. You know what I mean? Like, I bet she was, and then somebody was egging him on, and he's like, yeah.
Nick's
and
like,
then,
yeah, you're right. I am a star.
I am a star.
They don't even know.
Yeah, I could do better than him. He's just a weirdo.
So we cut back over to Zach in the gallows room. He's hanging up a noose, of course, because what would it be without, a little taunting?
That scares me. Just like even having a noose nearby.
I hate nooses. He taunts Snowden with the noose. "This is where you got hung, isn't it?" Zach stands on the trap door thing that drops when they're getting hung.
He's
in the gallows.
Standing on it?
Mm-hmm. He stands right on it and says,
Stupid.
and this is where you were standing, weren't you? Your feet were standing right where my feet are. And he pans the camera down to show his feet on the trapdoor. Zach tells us that he just saw a freaking shadow right across from him. And now suddenly he doesn't feel good. He shouts, "I want you to tell me those last words that you were unable to say." He tells Raymond that he's going to leave now, and he wants Raymond to get back in his cell.
That part just, okay, go back in your cell, little Raymond. Get back in your crate, please. Like he's a dog.
All right. Zach tells us that it's now 3 a.m., the witching hour, which is the same time that Dan Hamilton, the local news anchor, had been investigating the Rose Garden where the old gallows used to be when he had an attack. This made no sense to me.
I didn't know he was a local news anchor.
Yes, it was the news anchor that went ghost hunting with he went with paranormal investigators because of all the stories that were happening here. I don't think there's a lot that happens in Boise. I mean, they literally say that in the One Night in Idaho documentary.
I watched that.
They were
he's also the mayor.
Yeah, but when the college murders happened, everybody was so shocked because nothing ever happens there.
Well, I think it had been 30 years since the last murder or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway,
and he was from Washington. He was technically lived in Washington.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Anyway, so yes, but what didn't make sense to me was that Zach decides that he wants to try to replicate what happened with the news anchor. And I was like, that to me is just strange because I don't know. I don't feel like the same exact thing's going to happen every time. I was like, it's one thing to investigate it. It's another thing to try to totally replicate it. So he says that they're going to do some provocation while Aaron takes some digital still photos of him.
What is that meme or that thing with surprise, surprise? What's that thing? We need to insert those clips. Remember, what did I say? Oh, I need to start doing that to our YouTube.
Yeah, because there's so many times where nothing happens. And it's well, we kind of told you that nothing was really going to happen here.
Yeah.
Zach starts asking questions, but he has so much less energy this time. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but he wasn't really shouting.
Was little Zachy tired?
It was weird. I was like, is it a residential area or something? And he was afraid of being too loud. It was very not like Zach. He was speaking
I wonder
with
if he got a complaint.
Maybe it was he was speaking with his indoor voice or something.
Or maybe he was it was just eerily quiet out there.
So he was being quieter. So he says, "Were you hung in the gallows here? Did that rope hurt your neck when you were hung? Come up here. Come up here and make your presence known to us. Come up. You can touch me and slap me and do whatever you want." I want to see what it's all about, but I think you can't do it because you're too weak. Aaron thinks he captures something, but Zach says, keep snapping. Those could be bugs or dust. It's like, I appreciate that.
I did appreciate that.
Was leaning into that in this episode.
But does continuing to snap debunk it though?
I guess like if you see it, yeah, I don't know how that would.
If it was in the same spot, then it would be
maybe not a bug,
not bug or dust.
But orbs move too.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that Zach knew what he was saying in this moment. Zach now crouches down and says, so what did you do to get hung? How bad was it? Zach says he's getting a really bad feeling now. Aaron says he just feels creeped out, but Zach says he feels like he's getting a bad headache. How convenient.
Yeah, I definitely believe you, buddy.
Zach says after checking the high resolution on the camera, the orb that Aaron thought he captured was really dust or a bug. Now they showed it in high resolution and it still just looked like an orb. So I do not know how he debunked it and tried and prove how did he
that
know?
all happened really quickly. It was hard to follow.
It didn't make any sense. I was like, how do you know that was a dust or a bug? And I'm the person who usually doesn't believe in orbs, but I was like, you didn't really do a good job.
Also, if it's in high res, how can you not tell if it's a bug or a dust? Like, how is it still either or?
It's a dusty bug.
It's both. Guys,
it's
a ghost.
Bug.
It's a ghost of a bug. That's
a gnat in my room.
Is it a ghost gnat? Okay. It's now 4:30 a.m. Zach tells us that they want to try a new experimental method for communicating. This is the first use.
I was like, I had to rewind this like 50 million times just to.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. This is the first use of my least favorite piece of technology of all time.
I think we can be collective on this.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't fucking get it.
The infinity video.
Any part of it.
Okay.
I think we collectively hate this.
Yeah, I don't think any of us like this, but
because we don't understand it.
I guess I'm clarifying by explaining I like most of the other pieces of technology. I can't stand this thing. I
did understand it a little more.
I agree. Yes, I do agree, but I actually understood this version of it a lot more than
the projection.
The projection with the looping, the circle.
Yeah, I don't understand. This seemed like more controlled.
Yeah. So I'll explain to you, Mel, what I think it actually, how it's actually working this way. Okay, so this also seems to be the first time that they might, I don't know if they said this before, but it seems like it's the first time they're introducing the term instrumental transcommunication, aka ITC. The way Zach explains it this time, as opposed to the way I think Billy explained it in season 29, Zach says,
"This you can call what Billy did explain."
Billy word vomited. So Zach says,
Billy also explained hobble in the way he did. So we're gonna take everything that Billy explains with a grain of salt.
Okay, so he says, "This is trying to capture ghost pictures on electronic devices." How is that different from using any other type of camera or video camera?
Just a recorder. It's just a recorder.
Or the digital. I was like, how is this different? Why are we using a different term for this versus all the other cameras you use? Makes no sense. In this case, they set up one of those old square television sets. And then 3 feet from the screen, they set up a digital video camera on a tripod that is facing the TV. They take the audio and video input jacks from the camera and they put them into the television set and then they hit record. And so what happens is it creates an infinity loop, which at this point I'm still following. I was like, I understand what's happening here. It's basically like if you hold up a mirror in front of another mirror, it's just going to bounce back and forth and you're going to see infinity mirrors. So that I get. Now, Zach says, it's believed that ITC enables paranormal researchers to record evidence of spirits or ghosts who are unable to appear in our world, and they can appear in these electronic images. It is just electronics capturing photographic evidence. So how is this different from still cameras capturing a shadow or any other shadow figure type of thing? I don't understand why this is the term that they're reserving for the infinity loop. So,
and the TV has static on it, right?
It has static on it, and it's the screen is flashing. And I don't think he really explained why it was flashing.
So you think it's like when you try to, I'm sure there's a word for it, like when you try to take a picture of your computer or,
that's a moray.
Is that moray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be like that. So I think he did a pretty decent job of explaining the experiment. Like he says, we're going to hit record for 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, they will analyze each frame of the video and see if they captured any kind of face or anything like that. So I guess it's almost like, you know how he had that still camera set up that was flashing and taking pictures every 60 seconds? It's like that, but rapid fire, doing that at the TV. So I guess it would be like a spirit could potentially walk in front of it because it's like happening so fast, it would capture it type of thing. I don't know. That was my loose interpretation. It made much more sense than when they thought they captured a Native American in that spiral.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like a very high frames per second.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because they only did it for 30 seconds. And I was like, this is interesting because this is different than how they did it in season 29, where they just left it running.
But it seemed like it was live video.
But he hit record.
Yeah. But if it's a high frame rate, that would be slow motion. And it didn't seem like it was slow motion, right? But I guess it's only slow motion if you play it back at a normal frame rate.
Yeah.
So if you're viewing it live, it will look like it is.
Well, he said they were going to analyze each frame of the video.
Like
they're going to look at them as stills, not as a video.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Zach explains, right before we do this, we're supposed to call out to them. And right now we're standing right near death row, which we thought this would be a great place. He shouts into the room. So right now, if you can hear my voice, we would like you to come over here where you see this flashing on this television set. I'm going to hit record right now. Nick says, I thought I just saw a face right there, man. 30 seconds goes by. Zach hits stop because the 30 seconds are over. He says, thank you if you did come over here. I would like to say thank you. He looks into the camera and says, you always thank them, whether they are evil spirits or not, if they participate.
Oh, you know what this reminded me of? The poltergeist. Aren't they in the TV?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Isn't it in the spirit in the TV?
Yeah, but that's also in the poltergeist episode of the show.
They also do this. That's where
they do this experiment. Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying but actually in the movie, it appears during static, right?
Isn't that what a poltergeist is, though? It typically affects.
No, poltergeist moves things.
Yeah.
It's usually the definition of a poltergeist.
Yeah. They repeat this experiment a few more times and discover that they had indeed caught something on the loop. On the left-hand side of the screen, there appears to be a dark silhouette of a man. I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Will you do the fandango?
I couldn't help myself. Zach says they think they see a man wearing a hood.
Can it just be a man?
I know. We thought that was funny.
We're like, silhouette.
It's a silhouette.
It was a silhouette. I was like, I don't know why he would assume he's wearing a hood. It just looks like a silhouette of a person to me. Ellen told him that they had put hoods over their heads before they were executed.
So he's leaning into it.
Really?
I guess. But then, of course, he poses the question, which then made me realize, this is why he's leaning into it, is could this be the face of Raymond Snowden? And I was like, oh, that's why he wants to think that there's a hood on the head of this silhouette. Anyway, it's 6:12 a.m. and the guys are now released from the penitentiary. We're almost done, but we have one more section to go. So Zach now tells us that with all this new evidence in hand, they wasted no time getting back to Reno to see paranormal expert Mark Constantino and his wife, Debbie, an EVP specialist. Man, I feel like she's looking into my soul. Her eyes are huge. And I realized that I felt like she was giving a more glam version of a Shelley Duvall in The Shining.
Yes.
Which unfortunately was very apropos, considering that, trigger warning, this couple is Mark and Debbie Constantino, who both died in 2015 of an apparent murder-suicide.
So 7 years later from this.
Yeah.
episode.
So Lauren, do you want to give us some tea on what happened with that situation?
I got the tea. It's actually a really sad tea, so I don't even want to set it up the same, but I do have
we don't need to sing the song.
Yeah. So this actually, for people that were kind of close to this couple, it shouldn't have been much of a surprise. Apparently, there was a lot of history of domestic violence between the two of them.
It's really unfortunate.
I know. So, but at the time of this incident, Mark and Debbie were estranged. But a couple of weeks prior to this, Mark had kidnapped Debbie.
Prior to the murder?
The actual murder. So I don't know if you actually said what the actual incident was.
No, I just said it was a murder-suicide.
So you did say murder-suicide. Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks before their deaths, Mark had been arrested for kidnapping Debbie, beating her, and holding her hostage for several days. But there was a police report that this is an ongoing thing throughout their relationship, which is really sad. Even though this was like history, people were still surprised. And I'm like, how did you not see this coming?
It sounds so much like the OJ thing, where like there were so many domestic violence calls.
I know.
And like problems between Nicole and OJ, and then people were still surprised when it happened.
Well, and I actually just watched a documentary on that, speaking of, and like Nicole was going to people telling them that he was hitting her, and people were still not really believing it. So you never know. What people were believing, and like how close they were to him as opposed to her, and like what exactly was being told between the two, because you never know what Mark was telling them. It's like,
also I just feel like
people, shoot,
what?
Oh my god,
your glasses
scared me.
Yeah, you scared me too. My god. I know, but what I was gonna say is, I think something that people just always have to remember is people can be super charming and charismatic and manipulative, and you may never know what's going on behind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, narcissist.
I hate when I hear like, oh, well, I've never seen that side of him. It's like, no, well, you weren't in close proximity to him in that type of situation. So why would you have?
Going off of that, there was an Instagram post about women posting the worst thing that men would say to them, like their spouses or significant others. And men were commenting on those comments, and it's like being so surprised. And it's like, guys, they're not going to show you this side of them.
No.
You're never going to see the side of these men. Like, don't be surprised. Like, why are you all surprised that men can act like this towards women? This should not be surprising to you. So anyway, so that was kind of leading up to the actual incident. But the day of, actually, I didn't know this, and Charlie, I don't know if you know this either, but Debbie's roommate was actually found dead.
Wait, what? I didn't know that.
Her roommate. Okay, they were estranged. She had a roommate.
Yeah, so she was living with a roommate.
But do they think he had something to do with the roommate?
Yes. So that's how it actually got started. There was a suspicious death. Her body was found in the apartment. The police were called, and
the roommate or Debbie?
The roommate was somebody called, found Debbie's roommate's body in the apartment.
Wow.
But Debbie wasn't there. So then they were kind of like, where's Debbie? Like, kind of like reported her missing. Shortly after, Mark had actually called the police and said, I have Debbie, like I'm holding her hostage.
So he basically killed the roommate and
called the police, said, I'm holding her hostage. They actually had a standoff with him for hours, kind of like reasoning with him, and then ended up shooting her and then himself after all of that.
Oh my God.
I know. Isn't that awful? And I don't even want to end it with that was the tea with Lauren, but just that was the tea. I mean, it's so sad. I actually have a friend that died in a murder suicide, and it's really sad because she would come to us about him hitting her, but I wasn't that I was more of an adjacent friend. Mm-hmm. So it's just really sad because she was estranged from him as well. So people who were closer to her, I feel like I don't want to blame the families. I don't want to blame the friends, but you always wonder, like, was there more that could have been done?
I'm sure that they now ask themselves that question all the time too. But we know that domestic violence is a very real and prevalent thing, especially in our country, but also in other countries across the world. But as far as America goes, if you or somebody you love is in a domestic violence situation and they're not sure what to do, they can call 1-800-799-7233 for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. They can also, if you don't feel comfortable calling, you can also text the word begin to 88788 to get some help.
And can you spell that as well?
BEGIN to 88788.
Did you guys know that you can text 911?
No.
I did not know.
Yeah.
And like you'll get a response, or like it'll connect you to like a.
That's so interesting because I feel like I wouldn't trust them to respond.
Well, do you know how many times I've been on hold with 911 for like 7
Seriously,
minutes?
it takes forever. But
that's insane.
You can do it where a voice call is unsafe.
Actually, now that you're saying it, I feel like I did read that, and didn't it start because of a case where somebody got killed because
they couldn't speak.
They were trying to call and the person like heard the voice on the other line. That's I could be making that up.
I mean, that makes sense. It's also there for like the hard of hearing or hearing impaired or deaf or speech impaired individuals. But
yeah, I mean, I don't want to go so down this rabbit hole, but just like I think like the number one killer of pregnant women are like their spouses.
Mm-hmm. Or their significant other.
Or significant others. So it's like, it's really scary.
Yeah. Well, we feel for everybody out there. And, we believe women when they, within reason. But moving on from that very sad topic, RIP to those folks. I do believe they are in a few more episodes of Ghost Adventures. So this may not be the last time we see them, but this is the first time we see them. And so, we don't want to take it lightly, but this is a comedy podcast. Moving back onto the jokes. In 2008, they were helping these guys analyze their evidence. Nick shows them the EVP he received when he was in the hole.
It is kind of eerie knowing what happens to them to then see them together.
And to also hear them analyzing
ghosts.
Yes, I thought about that the whole time. I was like, oh, wow, I wonder if they try to communicate now, like from the other side.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of like the Glen Tavern.
Yeah, with the Oracle.
Patrick, yeah. So as a reminder, Nick caught an EVP when he was in the hole that he thought was saying, say what? Or like Mel said, Zah.
What's that?
So Debbie says that she's hearing not my life, and that she thinks another spirit is coming in and saying, I'm okay. She says she would think that they perished in there because, you would think that the hole would be the worst part of the prison. And then she says, why would you want to hang out in a place where you were punished all the time? Which is really sad in hindsight when you think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But Zach tells Zach tells us that this is proof of an intelligent spirit and not a residual spirit. Debbie helps explain that a residual energy is more like the sound of a prison door closing or the sound of a baby crying. And she explains that an intelligent spirit is referring to an interactive spirit. Now that she says, not my life, I'm okay, I actually do hear that. It could be pareidolia, but I heard it. So now Zach meets with Mark to show him the shadow person they thought they captured in the infinity loop experiment. Mark says that what Zach captured could be considered a holographic image.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Why did he keep on saying holographic image? Like, do you understand that?
No, I didn't understand it at all.
Okay.
Well, he explains it, but I didn't know why he used the word holographic, because I thought that meant you could like see through something. And he says,
it was opaque.
It was opaque. And he says
holographic had some sort of shine to it.
A holographic refers to technology that uses light interference to create three-dimensional images.
Well, this wasn't 3D. This was flat. So that also doesn't make sense.
A lot of the names of these things never really.
Yeah. His explanation was that it's a holographic image because there's not much detail, but there's definitely something there. Okay, whatever. He says you can see shoulders, a neck that appears to maybe be thinner than a neck normally would be, and then a head that is a strange shape. Mark said,
I was like, oh, it could be an alien.
I just thought it looked like a person.
It just looked like the silhouette of a person.
Also, when something's far away from like a light source, it's going to like
Be warped.
It's going to be warped, but the light's going to flood around it, you know?
Yeah. Mark said that another feature of holographic images is that they are hardly ever full body.
I'm like, dude, this is a square TV.
I was like, what are you talking about? Zach now explains to Mark that they believe that this is Raymond Snowden and explains to him that how they captured the shadow around Zach while he was feeling like somebody was touching his arm. Now, Zach says, this part just killed me. He says he thinks it's interesting that Mark pointed out the skinny neck because Snowden was hung. And he says, I'm sure after he was hung, he had a little skinny neck.
I don't know that that's quite
That's not how it works.
the same thing.
When you get hung, your neck doesn't stretch out like Gumby or something.
Yeah.
Does it though? Maybe.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, like, you might have like an indention from the rope, but like it's not like the women who wear those necklaces their entire life. You know, you don't.
With like the really long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he now says goodbye to Mark. And that, my friends, my shadow people, concludes our final episode, season 1 of Ghost Adventures. Yay! All right. So before we head out, I've got 2 questions for y'all. Do we think it's haunted or hoaxed? And what did you guys think about the first season? Who wants to go first?
I don't think it was haunted or a hoax. I think it was neither.
So I say I don't think it was haunted. I think there was just a lot of residual energy.
But does that mean it's not haunted? What is a haunting then? Do
Like-
we need to research what we're asking?
Like you mean kind of like the EMF thing? The energy from all the bad wiring gives you an eerie, kooky feeling when you're in there?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's maybe stuck energy, but when I think of a haunting, I do think of intelligent. I don't think leftover stuff.
Lefty. I would still say residual energy is still a haunting.
So when I think of a haunting, I think of an active haunting.
Not like an echo.
I don't consider an echo a haunting.
I'm not going to do the research right now, but we will. We will investigate this a little bit.
Because I feel
I'm
like
interested.
haunting, like even the word haunting feels active.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it
Like-
feels intentional.
Intentional, exactly. Like something that's just residual, like sounds and stuff, I don't consider that haunting. Like something's haunting or being haunted. Like I think this just seems like residual energy to me. So I consider it.
What do you think, Char? Haunted or hoax?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's residual energy, but to me, I think I want to get clarification on what a haunting means in that case. So I want to do research on that.
Okay.
We're not going to solve that tonight, but I do think it was residual more so than anything that was super active. I do think the shadow over Zach was interesting that the camera caught. I have no idea what was captured on the infinity loop.
I don't know. I
mean-
struggle with the technology then because when you push in really tight on the footage, like when it already has like 3 pixels, it's like,
Yeah.
is that?
I mean, the shadow to me was very clear. And like before they even punched in, I could see it. And I was like, what is that? I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, out of everything, that was really the biggest thing that stood out to me. Other than like, you know, Aaron saying that the bottle in his back pocket got pulled. But I don't know. He could have been making that up.
Or he could have like leaned forward and it slipped upwards.
It scared him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But what did you guys think about the first season? Was there anything that surprised you?
I liked that it was less polished. You know, like jumping from the last season to this season was a nice change up.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. I think it started stronger.
Yeah. I was
I don't know.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're figuring out their flow. It's a pilot season, you know, and I think that's like obvious from a production standpoint. But I enjoyed the silliness.
Yeah. I enjoyed the silliness as well. But I am surprised that there wasn't more haunted activity.
They're really,
Yeah.
Like to me, the most haunted one was the Riddle House.
I was literally just thinking that, like, I was like, which episode is one of my favorites? And I was like, oh, the Riddle House was so fun because we saw that umbrella like blowing or moving.
And the
and the producers were having a grand old time.
Yeah, and you could tell that Zach was shocked. Like you could tell that he was really cut off guard by
you guys will get my joke in the edit when you listen to it.
No, I got you. I heard you. The producers were having fun.
Yeah. It's like future Lauren's laughing now.
I know. It's always when we're tired and we're like just like glazed over. And I'm like, oh, we missed that joke.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah. But the umbrella moving and the birdcage thing falling.
Yeah.
Those two things. Oh, and the plank of wood that went flying.
Yeah, the plank of wood. Yeah, that was the biggest
the plank of wood was a I don't know if it's a cameo, but a cameo in my paranormal whatever I'm not falling for. Did you guys catch that?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
The propaganda thing. I had an old shelf and I was like,
oh, because you were inspecting it.
Yeah. That was why I was doing it.
Yeah. I love that. No, I think for me, the thing that I found the most surprising about this episode and makes me excited for for this season and makes me excited about the next season is the dynamic between Nick and Zach. I love drama. I love some interpersonal drama. And just watching this play out to me gives this whole show some new energy that I did not know to look for in the past. So,
yeah. I like watching Aaron be a part of it more too.
Yeah.
And when does he become the investigator? We'll have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah. Do they change his title to investigator? Yeah, they did.
I'm sure
they do later on.
Well, Billy doesn't know Jay's the camera guy.
Yes.
Right.
Jay becomes a camera guy.
Nerve center.
Yeah, he like sits in nerve center. The tech guy. I don't know what Billy does.
He's out there pimping it up.
He's a paranormal expert. Micro-penis. Paranormal investigator.
Mostly.
Micro-penis.
Investigating.
Okay.
Provoking. Mostly provoking.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly provoking. Okay. That is it for this season. Next week, you guys will be getting Kindred Spirits, Season 1, Episode 1, if you want to watch to follow along. Very excited to introduce you guys to Amy Bruni and Adam Berry. And
we're going to be cherry picking the rest of the episodes.
Yes, we realized that Chip Coffee is not really involved in most episodes until around season 4. So we did season 1, episode 1, and then we're going to jump to season 4 and do a few episodes during the month of August.
And make sure to include more historic so we can include This Old Haunt.
Yes. But do us a solid and rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening and share with a friend. And please leave comments on what you thought about this first season. It can be on Spotify, wherever.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, wherever you want to leave us a comment. Like, we want to hear from you guys and let us know what you're liking.
Yeah. And you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram for behind the scenes chaos, sneak peeks, and bonus hauntings. And if you've got a ghost story of your own, send it in. You might just hear it on a future episode.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Until next time.
See you in the shadows.